right, Sunday morning, we are back. So it looks like this is the same newer throttle body. It looks like I went and got the bracket off of the other throttle body, off of the other intake manifold. It's got the spots, but it only has a PEM in the front one. So I just looked inside the van, it's the same way. So I might cut this plastic off here. This is just a spare intake manifold. I might cut this here and cut the plastic away from this PEM and then push that PEM down into these plastic ports on the other intake so I can mount the throttle cable bracket. So that will be a new step today. And I don't know, hopefully this throttle cable has enough cable. I'm not sure if it's going to, but we will see. Yeah, then besides that, our coolant went down just a wee bit. We'd filled it about halfway, so it took a little bit when everything cooled down. So we'll take that apart and to finish putting the axle drive shaft in, get the transfer case shifter in, do some more little wiring, and then tuck away the wires that I'm not using. Once the throttle cable bracket's on, we can stuff the mass airflow sensor back on there, and then hopefully that'll help things run a little bit better. I found a couple intake manifold bolts that were loose. Oh crap, the alternator's not charging either. I completely forgot to get a different alternator while I was at the parts store this morning. I guess we can do some checking to see if there's just something else that's making it not charge. I think I might have actually just found the problem. Sure did. Helps when you have the excite wire plugged in. Let's gotta find where that wire is in the loom. Okay, well that might have fixed that problem. Also need to get to the power steering pump reservoir. That'll be a challenge down inside there to get some fluid in that. I don't know if we'll have a way to hook up the old reservoir that used to go down and feed the reservoir, the tank in the old pump. We will see, because that cap is not really pressurized like that, so might just have to deal with filling it the hard way with a funnel and a hose, but that's okay. It's not like you fill power steering stuff that often. Yeah, we're gonna keep chugging away and we will keep bringing some updates. Maybe we'll see it move today. I said that yesterday, but maybe we'll see it move today. Here we go. All right, we figured out the throttle cable stuff. So I basically just cut down where the bracket was. You can see about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches in there. And so I just took a piece of steel plate and welded it in, cut the corner back off to match the old angle, and welded it back together. And now we have the right length for our throttle cable bracket. So, fantabulous. That's one step off the list. All right, so the other thing is this van is in danger of me getting arrested the longer it stays here, because now we've got Epstein's bus service, free Wi-Fi, free candy, and the other side, it's the Tiara is the name of the van. It says, "Let me tell you about my Tiara." So, the longer it stays in here, the worse it's getting. Okay, it's about to be that moment where we close the hood, see if everything fits. Want to hold this over here, Alan? Oh yeah. Like a glove? Okay, so we gotta put the doghouse on, put the four-wheel drive shifter in, still do the fuel pump, but got the battery charging, so that's good. It really was just that excite wire. We got the mass airflow sensor on, so now it has to relearn again we're making progress. Ooh, it's our first time seeing if it moves. We're gonna move it over from one lift to the other. We'll see.
That thing's gonna try to roll over the first time he goes around a corner.
We're the parking lot right now. Because you were dropping the gas tank. There's a crossbar at the back.
Definitely getting better.
Alright, first drive a success. Very nice. Alright, now to do the gas tank and the transfer case shifter. Woo! Alright, gas tank is down. I can't believe of all the different rigs, the newer Chevy pickups, the old CJs, all sorts of different stuff. I've never seen a company do as good of a job with it as they did at this. There's enough slack in the rubber lines and the wiring easily unplugs and comes down that I could drop this tank all the way below the rear axle using a transmission jack so that I can get to the top of this tank. I was dreading this part of the job. I can't believe how awesome this thing just dropped down. So good on you, Chevy. You done good, kid. This won't be so bad at all. Got the sending unit out. It actually didn't come out too bad. So I want to give a shout out to this company called Quantum Fuel Systems. They or highflowfuel.com. They sold this as a drop-in TBI to LS conversion system, and I didn't think that like it's their Quantum, it's their own pump, but I mean it's even the same plugs and everything. So it's going to be a plug-and-play. They give you the new O-ring for the top plate. They give you a new pickup screen. They give you a new wire just in case it's not the right plug. I mean, I haven't taken that off yet, so it may not be the same plug. I might have to solder this in, but either way, they give you everything. So I just wanted to give them a little shout out, and anybody who's looking to do this swap, an LS to our TBI to LS conversion, this pump drops right in the factory locations, the factory height, you use your sending unit, all that stuff, and it puts you up to the 60 PSI that you need. The part number is HFP 367. So yeah, this dreaded project it's only been freaking 15-20 minutes, so this should be done not too bad. Hopefully getting the ring and everything back on doesn't fight me forever, but just wanted to give that shout out. Okay, gas tank is back in. That was the easiest fuel tank job I've ever done. Granted, I've never had to do one on a lift before, and having that transmission jack was really handy, but the fact that it's a Southern vehicle and they designed everything so well, I mean, even the filler neck tubes all came off, like, just craziness, shit that doesn't usually happen. So everything is back in. I started it up, runs good, everything's working correctly, so that's good. Oh, by the way, it did plug right in. It was literally plug and play. I didn't even have to use the pigtail they give you. So, and they give you the TBI system has like the super like low pressure rubber hose, and that kit gives you a new chunk of high pressure rubber hose to put in line as well inside the tank. So it literally has everything. I think it was like $67 or something for the kit. So you most times you can't even buy a pump for that. So that is definitely worth looking into. I would take a look see at that. So now we got our 4-wheel drive shifter. It's a cable shifter. This is going to go down into the floor here. They give you a boot, linkage that goes on the transfer case, nice knob that tells you where you're at. This is all from jbfab.net. So that is this is the last big thing to put together. So we'll get this in, and after that, man, it's like, where did my list go? So fuel pump is now crossed off. The only thing that'll be left after the transfer case shifter is going to be changing those spark plug boots. I am definitely going to add a sway bar of some sort. Like in the Jeeps and everything with leaf springs, I always take the sway bars out, but this van is just so heavy. Oh, I need to put the front bumper back on. It is so heavy, just backing it out through the driveway and up onto a little bank, it like the body rolled so bad. So I might see if I can either find, well, I took the whole sway bar setup off of this, threw it right in the trash, so that's smart, because that's gone now. So I might buy like a Speedway Motors for a hot rod or something like that, something that comes with all the linkage, because this axle doesn't have any mounts for it either. So I'm going to put something on there. Oh, I didn't put the air shocks in the front yet either. So 2 more things. Air shocks, transfer case shifter, spark plug boot. So that's 3 things. And then I got to figure out a sway bar linkage at some point. So, because it's definitely teetery like that. Once I put the air shocks in, though, and put a little air in the bags, that's probably going to help some too. But just an update. Going to keep moving forward. Whew. All right, it is now 10 o'clock Sunday night. Yeah, what a pain in the butt that transfer case shifter was. Since we made our cross member, literally nothing worked and fit and went anywhere it needed to. So there's a lot of cutting up all the brackets that it came with and fabricating everything. Literally not one piece could just stay the same. So that's a pain in the butt. To the point where we almost just put the shifter on the passenger side of the floor and said, yep. But I didn't want to do that. So quite a few hours later, the inside of this thing is quite a mess. But we now have a shifter. This boot here isn't bolted down yet. Oops. The boot isn't bolted down on the top, but we do now have a floor shifter that is on the driver's side. It shifts very nicely, so that's fantastic. Sorry for that. So, overall today was pretty productive. I got the fuel pump done. And that seems to be running great. Got the fuel pump, clean everything up, the hood closed, everything underneath there is all done. The transfer case shifter is in. I need to get the way that the bolts, the top plate screws to the floor, but then they give you a plate that screws over the bolt into that plate, but I can't get up into where the nuts go, so I'm gonna have to see if I can go find like some plastic push-in nuts or things, and I can just use that because all it's doing is holding the boot down. So there's that. Put the front bumper on and put the front air shocks in. So I'll be back up here tomorrow night, and hopefully those things aren't a battle like everything else. So that should be a quick night. Air shocks, between putting them in and plumbing them all up, half hour. Say let's give it an hour, worst case, because I do have to trim the bushings on the outside because they're not quite the right size. So say an hour for the shocks, 15 minutes for the bumper, but let's give that an hour too, because everything goes wrong that can go wrong. That's Neusla, Neusla Garage. And see if the hardware store has some little plastic nutsert things. But other than that, the rest of our list is basically spark plug boots. That's why I have a list, because I always forget about little things like that. I need to take the doghouse back off. I haven't done it, actually tightened it all down yet, the brackets on top. So I just want to make sure everything fit. The transfer case shifter was going to be in a good spot. So, yep, doghouse back off. We'll do the spark plug boots, and that's ready for a maiden drive. It sure does look pretty good. Sitting here on its tires and wheels, some 33s basically. We got the trailer hitch flipped back around because it was upside down before since it was so low, but that's going to have to not be that way. Just for giggles and things, we'll give it one more start for the night. Come on, of course. Oh, that's good. Runs sick. It's good. Why? Stop it. There's clearly some learning to do still. We haven't really run it at all with the mass airflow sensor plugged in. That definitely is fooling us. But yep, that'll do it for the night.